I've heard from a lot of people, who've tried to get into property, and a lot of people sometimes say, it's not as easy as I thought it would be. I tried it and I'm not going back. I've had enough. No, it didn't work for me. Why is property not as easy as it said to be at times?
That question is really powerful because there's a lot of people who share ideas and concepts around property which lead people to believe it's really easy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a strong believer that anything that's done right is simple. So I'm a strong believer of that. However, easy and simple, though they're words we mesh a lot of the time, they're not the same.
That's correct.
So there's a difference between easy and there's a difference between simple. There's an element of simplicity, sophistication, swiftness that you can utilize to invest in property, but that doesn't necessarily mean it is easy. So the best way I describe it is, let's take this analogy of keys, all right? So let's say you got 3 keys. Let's say you got, I know it looks like a house, but that's a hotel key, okay?
Yeah.
You got a hotel key card, right? And then let's say, besides that, you've got a car key.
I see where you're going.
You see where I'm going, yeah? I hope you see where I'm going, right? And then let's say we've got the house key, the traditional house key, okay? So put that there, house. Now, here's the interesting thing. When we first wanted to get invested in property, some of the classes we went on, they would give us a key. And when we talk about a key, we're talking about like information, knowledge, insight, strategies, etc. So they'd give us a key. And obviously, being good students, we'd go out, we'd execute on that key. Mm-hmm. And we might make some money for a little bit of time, okay? And then the government would change the legislation, or some tax change would come in place, or something would happen and it would literally rock our whole world, and we'd no longer be able to make money on that particular approach anymore. So some people might be saying, well, then why did that happen? Well, it's simple why that happened. At the time, I didn't know why it happened, but I later started to work out why it was happening. The reason it was happening is because the teachers that were teaching us were giving us hotel room keys. Now, the interesting thing about a hotel room is every single hotel room, whether it's a small £10 a night motel that no one wants to stay in, or whether it's a large, £10 million per night suite, it doesn't matter what the hotel room is like, because every single hotel room was only ever created for a short-term stay.
That's correct.
So there are people out there that are going to teach you stuff about property. It's not made for legacy. So you might be able to use it to build a portfolio of 5 properties, 8 properties, but it's not going to be sustainable or sophisticated enough or simple enough for you to then now pass it on and actually have a sustainable legacy for the next generation. So that's the hotel room key. Now, the interesting thing with the car key is the car key is a key to a vehicle. All of these vehicles, even property in some sense, they can help you generate a revenue where you can go from point A to point B, but they weren't created for you to stay there. They weren't created for you to sleep in those vehicles, okay? And this is the reason why they say statistically, within 5 years, after a person wins the national lottery or generates some big earnings from cryptocurrency, they're either back the same or in a worse financial position. Okay. Now, the reason that happens, well, one of the reasons is because they had a vehicle key. They had a key to a vehicle. So they could go from A to B, but they couldn't stay there. It wasn't created for them to stay there, that vehicle. So obviously the house key is completely different. So the things we teach are we always make sure that they're house keys, because here's the thing about a house. It doesn't matter if it's the smallest kind of property, which is a small studio apartment, or the largest kind of property, which is a large stately mansion. Every single property was created for long-term accommodation. So the keys we're sharing in this video, the keys we've shared in any other video, the keys we share on any of our platforms, every single one of those keys tend to be lifelong keys. And the reason why is because we've got children. We love our children. We want to be able to pass these keys on to our children. And we understand we can't do that if we're only giving them hotel room keys or car keys. We have to give them long-term keys. So the question, why is it not as easy as people make it seem in property? Well, it's simple. It's because most people who make it seem easy are not actually giving you long-term keys. They're giving you car keys, hotel keys, instead of giving you long-term keys. And those long-term keys will last for you. Those long-term keys will last for me. Those long-term keys will last for everybody. That's how it works.
I love that. And it's powerful because it's important to give what you'd want. It's a principle from the Bible: give and do unto people as you'd like done to yourself. That's right. I think it's important that we recognize that the things that we give to people should be those house keys, the ones that last and will continue to last, rather than these hotel and car keys that don't really last for anyone.
Awesome. So, guys, if you got value from this video, let us know, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Take care.